We're recording
Okay.
again.
Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next few topics that we will discuss, well, the some statistical questions and some formulas.
Okay.
And there are six formulas, and that I have decided to review. And the first one will be the hospital death rate. And as you can see on the PowerPoint that I've given you, to the best of my ability, a hospital death rate is formed by calculating the number of inpatient deaths in a period over the number of discharges, including deaths in the same period, times 100. The next statistical formula is the hospital autopsy rate, and that is calculated by the total hospital autopsies divided by the number of inpatient deaths whose bodies are available for hospital autopsies times 100. The next formula is the length of stay statistics formula. That is the average length of stay, average stay, um, over the total number of stay, the discharge days. And that you were able to get, that's not right, I'm sorry. That doesn't look, average length of stay. That doesn't look right, does it?
Mm,
Average length of
of
stay.
stay.
Average
Total
length
length
of
of
stay is the total number of discharge days, total number of length of stay, which is the total number of discharge days
discharges.
over the total number of discharges. The next one is inpatient census statistics, and the inpatient census statistics is services received by one inpatient in one 24-hour period, and that is calculated by the total of inpatient service days for a period, excluding newborns, over the total number of days in a period. And the last one is the bed turnover rate, and that is the number of discharges, including deaths in a period, over the total inpatient bed count days in a period of times 100. And that is the direct formula.
Mm.
Now, if you look in the Professional Review Guide of 2009,
Mm-hmm.
on page number 361, it's got the health statistics and research. And there are a few problems that have some of those formulas. And if you would like to turn to those, page 373. Excuse me. I don't know if you want to turn it off now or you want to keep it on. It's up to you
Okay.
till we calculate these.
Okay, so you want to go over some calculations together right now?
Yeah, do you want to try a few of these problems? I would thought maybe we'd try a couple problems on each formula.
Sure, sure. We can record them.
You want
And
to?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which ones
Okay.
did
Here,
you want to start off with?
if you start on page 375, it's number 31,
Okay.
and these are kind of complicated, but better that we start them. At least we can do them together. Number 31 is you are responsible for calculating and reported average length of stay for your hospital each month. This month there are 92 discharges, and the total discharge days equal 875. One of the patients discharged this month had a total of 428 discharge days, so the average length of stay is distorted by this unusually long stay. In this situation, you should report an average length of stay of 9.51 days. No further information is necessary. 9.61 days, and make a note that one patient with an unusually long LOS, average length of stay, was subtracted prior to making the calculation. Question or answer number C, which is 4.86 days, and make a note that one unusually long length of stay was subtracted prior to making the calculation. Or D, 4.91 days, and make a note that the data on one patient with an unusually long length of stay was subtracted prior to making the calculation. So if we refer back to the length of stay, it is the total length of stay, the discharge days, over the total discharges. Let me just refer. Length of stay is the total length of discharge days over the total number of discharges. So the total length of discharge days is 875. It'll be 875, and it is divided by the total number of discharges. It should be 92. Okay, and this problem says there are 92 discharges, and the total discharge days equals 875. One of the patients discharged this month had a total number of 400 discharge days, so the average length of stay is distorted by this unusually long stay. In this situation, you should report. Well, I'm going to see if I can try to, I would say 875 divided by 92.
Okay.
Let's see what that is. 875 divided by 92 would come out 9.51.
Okay.
And that is answer A. Now, if what I thought, well, I'm not sure. It's either A, or it could be 93 divided by whatever 875 is added to 428. So let's try that. I don't know.
Let me look here.
875 plus 428. It's 1303 divided by 93. So let's see. 14.01. I think it's A.
Okay. Well, it's A, and then what I have is D. But it says here only two answers, A and D, are correctly calculated. So it could be either one.
Okay.
A or D. And it says, should you choose to include the unusually long length of stay, you should make note to avoid the to avoid confusing readers, which makes the answer A, well, it says makes answer A a poor choice, but that's if you use the unusually long length of stay. You should choose to eliminate the potentially confusing length of stay. You should subtract both the patient from the total discharges and the discharge days from the total discharge days.
Okay. Should you choose to include the unusually long length of stay, you should make a note to avoid confusing readers, which makes answer A a very poor choice. Should you choose to eliminate the potentially confusing length of stay, you must subtract both the patient from the total discharges, which would only bring it down then to the patient from the discharges, which would be 91, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the discharge days from the total discharge days. So then you would say, you would subtract the 428 from 875. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, okay, so 875 minus the 428 would be 447. So then it would be 91, 447 minus 91.
I'm trying to see, where did you get 91?
4 points, because I subtracted that patient from 1 minus 92. You subtract them from the 92, and it comes out to 4.91, which is D.
Okay.
So, it could do either one. But so it's either A or D, and I'm going to make a note that I use that problem, just so I can use that for future also.
And then you took 91, you took 447 divided by 91?
Yeah, Exactly. And that gave you 4.91 days. And make a note that the data on one patient with an unusually long length of stay was subtracted to prior to making the calculation.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. The next one is the inpatient census. I'm going to flip back. That is number 24.
Okay.
And it's page 373. It's got a couple problems on here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, inpatient census then is calculated by the total inpatient service days in a period over the total number of days in the period. So number 24 reads, the inpatient census at midnight is 67. 2 patients were admitted in the morning. 1 died 2 hours later. Second patient was transferred to another facility that same afternoon. The inpatient service days for that day will be, so it's 67 plus 2, which would be 69.
69. Mm-hmm.
And that's right. Okay.
And D is the answer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is your question?
D.
D, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 69.
Okay, the next question, 25, is the same as far as the inpatient census. It says Bayside Hospital has 275 adult beds, 30 pediatric beds, and 40 bassinets. In a non-leap year, inpatient service days were 75,860 for adults, 7,100 for pediatrics, and 11,800 for newborns. What was the average daily census for the year? So that is inpatient census. So it's the total inpatient service days in a period divided by the total number of days in a period.
Mm-hmm.
So the total inpatient, so you would add
75,000.
75, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
75,800 plus the 7,100 plus the 11,800 and the total number of in-service days would be 94,700, and that is divided by the total number of days in a period. So in a non-leap year, inpatient service days, what was the average daily census for the year? Is that right? Total inpatient service days in a period, total number of days in a period. So it would be non-leap year. So it would be what, 360, a non-year is 364?
No, you have to leave out the 11,800 for newborns.
Okay. Okay. So
Let's see,
it's
in a non-leap year
75,860 plus 7,100.
of pediatrics. Mm-hmm.
So it'll be 82,960
Mm-hmm.
divided by, on a non-leap year. So 360, what do we say, 364?
Yeah, by 365 days.
In a non-leap year?
Mm-hmm. And then in the leap year, it's 366.
Okay, 82,960.
Hello? Hello? Hello?